So I have a 2-post lift. Cool, right? I can pick up anything up to about 10,000 pounds. Not exactly. The problem I have right now is it's too big to pick up anything small. Let me show you what I mean. So as you can see, the front arm doesn't extend as far as the rear arm. The length on the rear arm is good. If they were all the same size, I could safely pick up that 4-wheeler. As it is, with this being so short, I have to land on like the footrest, and it just gets too wiggly and it's not cool. So my first idea was to take these pieces of steel and weld on about a 2-foot pad, essentially, 2 feet, and then it had like strips of rebar, which would hold the frame in case the 4-wheeler would shift around. Same concept as this. These wings are meant to keep the frame in the pad. I didn't like that because I think if the 4-wheeler is just held up in the middle, it'll be too tippy back and forth. So I think I'm gonna have to use all of the arms. So here are the parameters. I have a bunch of these steel beam rectangular tubing offcuts. The length difference between these is 16 inches. Now, unfortunately, the longest beam I have is only 16 inches. And I think I need an extra 4 just to land on this pad. So my idea is take a small piece, use it as the first extension, and we'll take one of the risers of the pads. We'll use that as a pin to go in the hole of the foot, of the arm, what have you. Then we're going to take the 16-inch piece. I think we're just going to butt weld it. These will be cut in half because I don't really need the bottom half. I just need the wings. I think those would add some extra strength. But I don't need this whole thing. I don't think that 4-wheeler is not heavy at all. I'm going to have this cut in half. I'm going to weld all of the seams on a butt joint. When that's 16 inches long, drill another hole, probably plasma cut another hole. So now I can take the foot, the feet, the pads, and I just have one big blue extension. I think it'll work. Let's try it. Alright, so we're going to go 5.5 inches long to start. Like that. Oh, bummer. What? How is this not a standard? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How is this not a standard size? I got this off of Makita. And you're telling me it doesn't fit this thing? Ridiculous. Utter ridiculousness. Wow. How do I turn you on? Where's the switch? Found it. I wonder if I wouldn't have a better shot with just a hand drill. messing around trying to find a way to weld these pretty flat because these edges aren't. It's fighting it a while. You can just turn it upside down. Started welding this one already. That's about as good as I've ever done with 6011. That's pretty nice for me. Good penetration too. I like this. I think I'm a little long on the drag. I think I can shorten that. It's a good rod. Keyholing heavily. That wasn't very good. Let's do the side mount right now. Well, this thing welded beautifully, but since I have myself a new gas bottle, we're gonna try the second one with a MIG. Okay, I think it's time for a proof of concept before we start welding the straps on. Just to make sure this would even remotely work. Spins a little bit. You can see this is the first one, the nice one, because the hole is actually round from the hole saw. The other ones I had to cut by hand. Not as nice. It still works. Now we just need to know that the pads fit. That's a tight fit. That's a tight fit. It's interesting that this is ever so slightly larger than the pins. These pieces of shit fit. Nope. We gotta file these holes down some more. Alright, we did some more grinding. The pads fit. Let's get the four-wheeler in here. See if it works. I can already tell you what I think the problem is. I don't think I can get the legs under it. We'll see. I think they're just naturally too long and they just won't go underneath. See, that's what I thought was gonna happen. It's too long naturally. But what I think I can do issue number 2, I already see, is that the extensions are really, really wiggly. So even if it does get on the frame, it's not going to be stable. Let's lift it and see what happens. front. Beam bends. But the beam is deflecting a lot. Well, not the beam, the extension. So you watch this beam move. It flexes. I think we could stiffen that up. Honestly, I'm thinking safe enough, to be totally honest. It's not so much it's deflecting, it's that the pads aren't tight in there. It's the pads that move more than the beam. The extension moves a lot too. See, I can lift it off the thing. Honestly, I think it's usable. I think adding this bottom piece is helping. If this wasn't here, this wouldn't work. 100%. Have you ever spent a day trying to create something just to realize, oh, that's why. My phone magnet cut all the shavings. Just for you to realize that it was not successful. I think that's this for me. I wouldn't sleep under here. Let's put it that way. We've got 3 things going against us. 1, the extensions themselves flex too much. Number 2, the pads inside the extensions aren't tight and they wiggle around. Number 3, this isn't really touching anything, this back one. So it's being held up by hopes and dreams and maybe a little bit of movie magic. I don't know. I'm just a bit surprised I'm not crushed right now. It wouldn't fail here. I don't think so. It would just nosedive, albeit slowly. You can tell it's doing a lot because it started peeling the paint on this. It started affecting the paint. See the gap? Yep. See the gap in there? If this wasn't here, this would not work. I think that also goes to say, if we kept the beam in one piece, why do we keep calling it a beam? The extension in one piece, took it back to here even, I think it would work. It would work better. This would be stronger. But it's strong enough. I mean, this is kind of a light ordeal. See, look at this. Shouldn't be able to do this. It's not on anything. It's not touching anything. So what's its value? Its value is doing quick inspections. Its value is doing the oil change, so it can just go straight into the oil tank, checking wheel bearings, and just getting it off of the floor. I knew this control arm was bad. See, I don't like that. Well, it's pretty safe. I'm hanging on it a little bit. See, I wouldn't do pull-ups on it, but if that hasn't made it topple, I think we're okay. Let's just do a quick inspection. I don't want to stand under the front very much. Are both the ball joints bad? Oh, the bushing's bad. Okay. Alright, so what's next up on the four-wheeler? Number 1, we're going to do an oil change. We're going to do new spark plugs. I was going to do a new belt, but it seems to be happy now. What we are absolutely going to do, and what I shall order parts for, ball joint. Wiggly mess. It's pretty tight actually. I thought the wheel bearing was bad in this, but no, it looks good. Control arm bushing. Wiggly. Not well versed in four-wheeler suspension parts. Is this a bad wheel bearing? I don't think the rear should move like that. Oh, I should do this. Change the fluid on this thing. I guarantee that's never been done. So, kind of a success. Bad prototype. I think this design is entirely usable. It's just not safe for extended periods of time. What if I was going to use this for an extended period of time? With these in place, I would feel totally safe. Where do you put it? You watching? It's practically gotten the weight off of the extensions, put them on the rear. It's still wiggly, but it's not gonna fall down. This will prevent it from just going straight down and killing me, so there's that. This stripped out a long time ago. I fixed it, and of course it's stripped out again. So I just use this rubber one. If you can get the thing out. There we go. Got it. When I ordered it, I was very skeptical that it would ever work, but it's worked a treat. So this wing nut just kind of presses on this and expands, and it seals on the end too. It's very nice. This thing has a horrific issue of getting gasoline into the oil, because the carburetor bowl allows the carb to overfill, which then goes into the air box, which is connected to the crankcase, so the gas gets into the engine oil crankcase, or should I say the engine crankcase oil. So that's not great, but who cares? Maybe. And I think it's still a problem because I don't think that was only 2 quarts of oil that came out of that thing. Should really only be 1.8. Cool. This is likely a mistake, but I'm gonna give it really good oil, so maybe it has a fighting chance of not just imploding.